there are a lot of objects in here, like individual upper garments or jackets, shirts, that we don't have the skirt or the lower portion of the outfit. And so in those instances, we needed to display the thing sort of what I call kimono style, sort of stretched out. We don't have a lot of kimono stands here at the university, but I was also concerned that I didn't want a lot of stands coming up from the platform, so that the base would be very busy. And so, you know, or the platform area would be very busy looking, with a lot of sticks and posts coming up. So what we actually did in this instance is we had, from previous exhibitions, a lot of acrylic tubes, and we used, cut them to the width of the garment with the sleeves out, and then strung monofilament through it, and we were actually suspending the acrylic tubes with the garment over it from the ceiling. This kind of allows the garment to sort of float in space. It's kind of almost like a magic quality to it. And it eliminates the sort of busy quality down at the lower portions. Nevertheless, there are objects such as jewelry cases and other objects that need a base. For example, there are a lot of baby carriers in this exhibition, and they are mounted on boards, sometimes stitched to them, sometimes pinned to gator board panels. Then they are resting on posts that support this. These posts were done so that there was a kind of hollow rectangle that was made, and we have a plug in the bottom that we can screw onto the platform, and then we fit this column over it, and there is a matching sort of plug, wooden plug at the top that's attached to the panel, and this is how we keep the thing there. I didn't want these posts and those, and I should also say, those mannequins that didn't have shoes or leggings or pants, but had skirts, to cut the cost of the exhibition, we also decided to not buy full mannequins for them. We only bought torsos, and we used tubes of cardboard that come from the inside of a roll of newsprint. And they again have a round plug at the bottom that is attached to, screwed onto the platform, and then a matching plug on the top. And so we can adjust the height fairly easy by just cutting off the cardboard too. We can adjust the height of the mannequin so that it is appropriate to the height of, say, the woman or the person that was wearing this costume originally. But it eliminated us having to figure out what we were going to do with the legs and feet of the mannequin by just presenting it on the post. Okay, this is a good example of the paper tubes that were used to support the mannequins without legs. Basically, this is our paper core, or cardboard paper core for newsprint. We get it from a printing company. We just have them save these, so there's no cost involved in this. And we make our, out of 2x4, we cut a round plug that is then, as I said, attached to the underside of the mannequin torso. We used this as the core or the base for what we call a hip stand, which is when we just have a skirt and we wanted to, and no upper garment, and we needed to show that sort of in the round. And so we fabricated a sort of, just cut a piece of plywood, covered it with ethafoam and the stretched fabric, knit fabric, and then we are able to sort of pin the skirt to that so that it appears as it would the sort of size of the woman's or the person's waist. Our bases for plexiglass cases are very similar in construction, where there's a kind of matching base at the platform level and at the top. This, however, we constructed a little larger base because the plexiglass case was large, and then we, in this instance, I had the students and Wayne Kawamoto, the gallery design assistant, fabricate stands to support the caps or the jewelry. And this was just, very specialized kind of detail work that needed to be done, again, to make them as sort of as minimal as possible, so that what you concentrate on, what the viewer concentrates on, is the hat or the pieces of jewelry, and not so much the stand that is supporting it. In all instances, I think I go back to this premise that you keep your background, you keep the support or whatever it is there for what you're displaying as minimal and as simple as possible, because you really don't want anything to distract from the objects themselves. In a case like this, with this very fragile hat that we wanted back out of the way so people would not be able to reach it and touch it, we wanted to mount it on the wall, and so Wayne constructed a beautiful sort of wire structure that then is supported or slots into the wall, so that you have this sort of just suspended in space there. And you really, there's almost no angle that you see the support itself. You can see it a little bit here when you get right here, but we painted the rods that go into the wall the same color as the wall, so that it just kind of blends in and disappears. Again, maintaining simplicity in your environment is extremely important, and this is the way to give attention to what is really important in an installation. When it comes to displaying the jewelry, again, I want to make sure that the mount that's supporting it is as invisible as possible, so that really when the viewer is looking at it, they are hardly visible. Sometimes we actually had to use very fine monofilament, almost like a thread, to tie the pieces to it to make it stay in place. It just takes very, very detailed work, but also thinking and planning through that your base, or the support for whatever you're displaying, is not going to become a dominant aspect of the presentation.